Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you, and thanks to FDPPI and especially to Navi sir for giving me this opportunity to come to this forum and present my learning. Um, Before I move into the presentation and the slide, today I'm not going to talk about any legislation. Today I'm not going to talk about any law, any verdict, because you all are the best in this field than me. What I'm going to talk today is a complete different topic altogether called human firewall. And we're going to talk about people. We are going to talk about people, our friends, our family members, about you know common people. And that's how I'm going to talk today. And I have kept this presentation like I always present to my peers or to my colleagues. So it might be a little different and little informal that you normally see you know uh, privacy professionals or DPOs present. So with this, I would like to give a short introduction about myself. I've already heard from Ramesh. Thanks to him for presenting that. Uh, I know it is not quite expected picture or photograph which you would like to see on a presentation. I know when I got an ask from Manju to provide a picture, I provided her with this picture, and afterwards she got a picture which I have in my LinkedIn profile with the glasses on. My humble request and from my research experience study which I have seen is, if you would like to give a photo, give a side face, don't give a front face on a public forum or somewhere where this can be used in a different manner. And that is why I always try to use a picture which is a side face, at least not showing both of my ears. So apologies if you are not able to see any formal picture here. But about me, I'm a father of 4 years old daughter. My daughter's name is Irene, and I'm trying to make a better world where she would feel safe online when she will grow up. So that's basically about me. What we are going to talk today, I'm going to talk a little bit about something called data security. We use this phrase quite a lot, so I'm just going to touch up on a little bit on data security. Then a topic called think before you link. We link a lot. We link a lot in our day-to-day life, in our personal life, in our professional life. We link a lot. So this is going to be focusing on that area. Then a small presentation on trust. I hope we all are well aware of this word, trust. And then something to make it personal. And then I'll give you some best practices which we do across BT, and something which I have saw online which we can do or we can suggest to our friends and family member. And then at the end of the presentation, I would like to come up with a request to this forum, because I think this forum have a great power to influence people, just like I got influenced to this forum. So the first thing I would like to talk about is the recent certain guidelines. So the recent certain guideline created a lot of mess, a lot of questions why cyber security is containing data breach, data leak, blah blah blah. During my training with IAPP, when I was going through the CIPPE certification, this is something I saw in the book, in the CIPPE book. This is exactly the paragraph I took from their slide, that you can have security without privacy, but you cannot have privacy without security. So I think this is exactly the meaning which certain is showing on their particular recent guidelines. They mean it. And if you look at the diagram, the numbers which I have put on the slide at the right hand side of your screen, this is something I took from Google, where you can see the reason for data breach. Okay, and it's all related to cyber incident, one after another. I remember last year I was doing a course called Information Assurance Professional by Defense Institute of Advanced Technology, Pune, where in the introductory slide, the dean of the institution was giving a speech to all the online applicants or online applicants like me. And she mentioned there that in India, we get 80 cyber attacks in every second. It took some time for me to realize, is it really possible? 80 cyber attacks per second. Is this number correct? If I say this in a forum, how I'm going to prove that if I get any question that prove it? Then one day I was deleting the spam emails from my Yahoo mailbox. I just empty the mailbox. And after 2 seconds, I refreshed my junk folder and I saw there 3-4 emails. So that gave me the answer that in India, it's really every second there are 80 cyber attacks happening. And this is exactly what we see in the subsection, directions under subsection 6 of section 70B, which came 28 April 2022, where we can see data breach and data leak out of all 20 mandatory reporting. And this is exactly what they are meaning. And this means us, the privacy professionals, need to work together with the security professionals. There is no more can be security, information security, data privacy, data protection officer, chief information security officer. All these roles can be there, but they need to work together. And they need to work together to one particular aim, that is to safeguard data. No more personal data. It's data which the world is interested in. And this is exactly what we are going to talk about today. Where do we have our data? So if you look at this particular slide where I have kept a couple of diagrams, at least 1 or 2 of these we all use in our day-to-day life. I personally know that this forum is quite active in LinkedIn. I personally don't use Facebook, but I know my wife is a Facebook addict. WhatsApp is something we cannot live about, and all this contains our personal data. Now I would like to show you a video. And after this video, my question to the forum is, do you think this can really happen in the day-to-day life? And that's my question to the forum. Let's watch a video.
All right, let's check out my new requests. You're okay. Oh, you look good. I gotta have you. Oh, you're fantastic. All right, and this last guy, I don't remember you, but I'll add you anyway. All right, so I've got a bunch of project managers, a few marketing managers, and 1 account director. And my network is growing like crazy. Soon, my career is gonna take off. What, you don't believe me? All right, check this out. Do you know who Ron Ferguson is? He added me to his network. Think about it.
I'm Rick Ferguson. No relation to Ron. And certainly no relation to this guy. He's a criminal hiding behind a fake profile to collect valuable information. This is Dave. You may have noticed he's really happy to extend his social network. He's reckless though. He accepts almost every invitation, including Ron's fake one. This is pretty basic stuff. Anyone can do it. Ron's looking through Dave's posts, comments, and photos. You can see where he went to school and who with, who he socializes with, what he does in his free time, even what projects he's working on. Dave's profile is an open book. Ron can see whatever he needs and use it to his advantage. Dave is an attacker's dream. He's almost addicted to sharing every detail of his life with hundreds of strangers. Sound like anyone you know? We all use social networks, and if you're careless, it becomes very easy to gather this much data. Dave might think it's fun sharing everything that he does, but to people like Ron, it's a golden opportunity. They take advantage of your oversharing, and before you know it, they have access to your entire life. And even though you're giving it away for free, you may well end up paying for it. Ron gathers intelligence on an organization through its employees and uses it to his advantage. Right now, he's writing an email to Dave's boss with a very interesting proposition. A simple online search has also turned up documents which reveal exactly which version of Office software the target organization is using. Embedding malicious code in his fake spreadsheet is the work of seconds. In fact, there's an app for that. You might think this kind of thing only happens in films, but in reality, most attacks use social engineering, creating a credible pretext to fool the victim into doing something unwise. A momentary lapse of judgment, and Ron has the access that he needed. He moves carefully through the network, searching for more systems and data. This won't be a quick hack. Ron wants long-term access to sensitive data that he can sell on the criminal underground. Maybe it's a credit card database. Maybe it's a project in which the company has heavily invested. In the end, it doesn't matter. What matters is that it could have been prevented. Unfortunately for Dave, the investigation discovered his social media posts and followed the trail of evidence that led to the breach. Remember, you're just as responsible for the security of your company's data as you are for your own. Building your social network can of course be valuable, but don't connect with just anyone. Think twice before you post. If you wouldn't be happy shouting it in the middle of a crowded street, then don't post it online. And when you do share, make sure you tightly control the audience. Follow your company's security policies, and of course, be careful of unsolicited messages or content that you receive. Most important of all, just use your head.
As a human being, we are blessed by God with something that makes us different than other creatures, other animals, that we can socially interact with each other. The motive of this video is not to say that, let's not be social. Definitely, we need to be social. That makes us human being. What's the message here is, we need to think before we link, and we need to trust less and question more. I'll come to detail about trust in the next few slides. But my question to you is, do you think this really happens? Yes, no, maybe? Anything?
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, I will show you how we face it within our organization. This is something one of our employees received on his Facebook account, personal Facebook account. And this is exactly what we saw in the video. As you can see, at the beginning, these fraudsters were really friendly. They started to build a rapport, make the person comfortable. And at the end, the actual offer came to the employee, where the employee being offered some money. The red boxes, just put for your reference, so you can have a quick read just to see how this employee being approached. Okay. And within BT, we promote human firewall quite a lot. And luckily, this employee's human firewall was switched on. So you can see he ended the chat with a polite note, took the screenshot and reported it to his line manager. And his line manager ended up raising an incident. So we took it forward from there. And this is something I'm talking about at the beginning of 2021, last year, Q1 or Q2, 2021. I think it was Q1 in the month of February or March. The amazing thing which I have seen during my study or during my research period, these fraudsters or these hackers, they evolve much faster than you and I. We also evolve, we also change the direction, we also change our control, we also go by the new legislation. But these fraudsters, they are really, really fast, and sometimes they amaze me. Because after 2 quarters in Q3, we got a different attack. And this time, this was through WhatsApp. And this was through employees' personal WhatsApp number, but this number is not publicly available within the organization. So there are 3 employees this time who are based in Kolkata who received this kind of messages. Someone pretended to be an HR from BT and tried to initiate a conversation. Again, luckily this time, due to our awareness and hard work, the employees, after chatting a couple of lines, realized something is wrong, sensed it, blocked the sender, took the screenshot, switched their human firewall on, and reported it to their line manager, who again raised an incident. At that time, I was part of the primary investigation of this particular role because I am based in Kolkata. So I was speaking to one of these targeted employees, and I was just having a casual conversation like his or her educational background, how long he or she is working with us, and I realized that the employee is quite new to the organization, and the employee have done masters in microbiology. So I got my doubts, but I stopped myself, and after 1 week I went back to the employee. Hi, how are you? I mean, just a quick question. My sister was also microbiologist, masters. Why you are working in such a profile? And then she said, I'm looking for a new profile. And then I asked, are you not applying? She said, I'm applying a lot of jobs through LinkedIn, but I'm not getting any calls. And that answered my question, from where these fraudsters got the number, profile, where they are working and stuff. It all came from the CV. So that was learning for us to see that from where these fraudsters are getting all this information. And this was amazing for us to see. Now, in India, if I talk about the Indian government, they are taking some massive steps to bring these fraudsters down. You must have seen that that recently there is a TRI guideline came where the telephone, regulatory authority of India make it mandate that all the service provider need to show the KYC name on the phone where the call is coming from a number. So if I am calling any one of you, if the number is with my name, it will show Anirban Ghosh is calling. Now, this is going to create a massive problem for this fraudster industry who are calling customer and said that I am calling from SBI Kolkata branch, I am calling from SBI Bangalore branch, because the screen will show the call is not coming from SBI, the call is coming from XYZ organization. Now, just to show you how these fraudsters evolve themselves to get your personal data, I'm going to show you something that has been amazed me quite a lot. So this fraudster came up with a unique idea, and this is very recently. I have got one of the forensic expert of Indian government through his awareness post, that individuals are receiving letters through India Post, registered India Post. And we all know if a letter come to our home address with a registered Indian Post where we sign and take the letter, 75% genuinity of the letter carried by India Post. We hardly experienced any fake letter coming through India Post where they're asking to sign a document and take the letter. And this is exactly type of thing which these fraudsters are delivering through a letter, where you just scratch and you will get a huge amount from a company where you recently bought a product. So if you have bought a product from Misho, this is just the case which I have come across. You will get a coupon from Misho. If you have bought something from Flipkart or Amazon or Tata Click, you will get a coupon from those particular name, and this will give you an absurd amount with a genuine looking form on the left hand side of your screen. Now the 75% of your mind is already captured that yes, it came from India Post, it's a genuine one, I have signed it. And then the rest 25% will be influenced by the other 75%. Let's WhatsApp them or let's fill and send it. And as you all know, if someone is filling this document, or whenever we fill this lucky coupon or draw and put it with our personal details on any one of the shopping mall or somewhere, they get sold. If you try to claim anything against the SPDI rule that we have, now you all gurus, you all experts know, SPDI does not cover any data written on a piece of paper. And this is how these fraudsters are utilizing it. Now, my question to myself was, and this happened very recently. Okay, I'm talking about 3 or 4 months back when I come across this particular post. And when I ask myself, okay, I can understand they are evolving. I can understand, they have got this letter, this WhatsApp number, this form, this fake stamp, everything. But I have two questions: that from where they are getting the address, as you can see at the top of the letter, and from where they are getting this coupon, and how they know that I'm shopping from this particular website like Misho or Amazon or Flipkart, blah blah blah. That was my question. Now I will pause here and come back to my personal life. Due to COVID, I was not able to put my daughter into any place, so I put her into a school from this year onwards. And the school where I put my daughter in, they instructed all the parents that you should stay outside of the school for all 2 hours, at least for next 3 months, till the time your baby is habituated with the school. Because if they started crying, then you need to calm, console, and go out of the school. And the duty came to me, because my wife was not able to match that time. So the duty came to me. I used to take my daughter to school at 8 a.m., sit outside of the school for 2 hours, and exactly at 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. At 10:30 a.m. I used to take her and come back home. Now, what I will do for all these 2 hours, so luckily I got a tea vendor outside of the school, and I used to sit there, used to sip 2-3 cup of tea on a daily basis, and I make friend with this tea vendor. And at this particular shop, early morning, a lot of garbage collector used to come and had their morning tea. A lot of them. And we have a lot of municipality garbage collector. I'm not sure if you must have them in Bangalore and other part of the city or the world. But in Kolkata, we do have these people who go with a handheld cart, and they collect all the garbage and put it in a bigger garbage where bulldozer come and load it and put it to the scrapyard. Now, I used to see a gentleman used to come every day, have a cup of tea, and move on with his load of garbage. One day, this guy came and realized he don't have money. So I offered him a cup of tea. It doesn't cost much, six rupees. I'm not sure how much it's the other part of India, but this glass you will get 6 rupees in Kolkata. Sorry, in Howrah. I'm based in Howrah actually. In Howrah, you will get this glass, 6 rupees. So I sponsored him 6 rupees, and we became friends. This is my friend. Not his picture. I took this picture from Google. So this is I make friends with him, and I asked him that, how much he get paid, and he said the municipality paid him around 8,000 per month. That's somewhere around 80 pounds he get paid every month. And my question was, how you survive with 8,000? He said, because I have some other income where I earn around 1,000 rupees per day. I said, sorry, what you said? He said, ho jata hai sir, 500,000 per day. And I said, how? I mean, if you are earning 500 or 1,000 rupees per day, you are talking about around 30,000 if you work for 30 days. If you work for 25 days, 25,000. That's a massive amount. How you get this? And then he showed me this. So the rate for a small box of Amazon, Flipkart, Misho, a small box, is around 4 to 5 pounds, 40 to 50 rupees. Sorry, 40 to 50 pence, 40 to 50 rupees. And a medium box will cost you around 2 to 3 pounds, 200 to 300 rupees. And a big size box, it can go up to 10 pounds. That is around 1,000 rupees. The condition is this should be intact. That answers my query that day. And the lot that you see on the right hand side of his screen, that was his 1 day's collection. And trust me, all the shipping levels were intact. It might be cut from the middle, but if you put them together, it's really easy to read. What's the challenge we are looking at? This is the challenge we are looking at. Since the time we grow up, we've been told to trust. It's in our culture. We need to trust. We need to trust people. We need to trust everyone. And that's exactly what these fraudsters, these hackers, they look for. Just trust. Trust once. Trust the SMS once. Trust the email once. Trust my friend request once. Trust my link once. Just trust once. So what is my ask here? This is really a difficult subject. So my ask to the forum is, I need your help to put a culture forward, which will teach us to trust less and question more. If someone is asking on a forum, on a mall, shopping mall, that fill this form and win a car, the question is why you need my email address, phone number for the car? Why you can't give me a token, a unique token, like a lottery ticket, which I can go back and come back to you if I win? And this is something we need to teach. We need to teach our children, our parents, our near and dear ones, and everyone. And it is not that easy. When these fraudsters call us, they go really fast. They understand the human psychology quite well. And in our brain, we have this trust factor within us. So whenever someone calls us and say that you have owned a Tata Safari, you have owned a won a car, you won a lottery of 12 lakh, your relative is at the hospital, I am at a petrol pump, I am one of your friend calling, my mobile is switched off, I just need some money, or you receive a message from WhatsApp, someone is asking for money, all this stuff, the expectation is just stop. Whenever you are any of the situation, just stop and take a deep breath. What this does, this helps us to move our thoughts from our emotional brain to logical brain. And whenever we move into our logical brain, we start thinking and we start getting questions. That this person never asked me money till date. Why I am receiving a WhatsApp message from this guy or Facebook message from this guy asking me money? We hardly spoke to each other. People don't ask money like that. And that's exactly when we can protect and just offer, let me call you back. Let me speak to one of your relatives. Let me speak to one of my friend. And that's exactly how we protect. And that's exactly what we promote and what I have learned. Stop, take a deep breath, think, and protect. And this is exactly what we should do with our data. We should check, we should own, and doing that we can secure. And this is exactly where this human firewall comes into picture. It is nothing than sharing with each other. If I know something, I'm sharing with you, with this forum. My expectation from you is you go to different forum and share it with everyone. And this is how we can strengthen this human firewall. Because none of the firewall, none of the technology, none of the defender can stop you and I from clicking on a link. It is the human who need to decide that, no, I'm not going to click the link. No, I'm not going to give my OTP away. No, I'm not going to give any of my sensitive or non-sensitive personal data or information to anyone. And this is what we need to do. And this is exactly where the awareness bit comes into picture for any security professional, any privacy professional, for me, even as a DPO, to spread awareness. And when we spread awareness, we don't talk about personal data. I personally don't talk about personal data. We talk about person. We talk about how it personally going to impact people, rather than telling people that you should not share any of the customers' data with someone. I prefer to tell them that do not share your Aadhaar card with anyone. If someone asks you for a copy of Aadhaar whom you don't know, maybe a delivery guy or someone, there is an option to download a masked copy of Aadhaar, download that and give away. Do not give your entire Aadhaar card. And it took me 3 months to explain my dad that the other person on his phone, on the other side of his phone, is not the manager from his SBI. It took me 3 months. After that, after 3 months of hard work, I was able to explain to my dad, and he realized what is happening. But that is after one of his friends being frauded around for 6 lakh rupees. And the guy shared that story with my father. And then my father realized that yes, whatever I'm telling him is correct. And that is exactly what we need. We need to share. We need to make it personal. We need to give example. Those are personal. And this is exactly what we follow, what we do. And this is exactly what I have learned through my journey all last 3 years while building this human firewall. That if we make it personal, then not only personal, all the data, all the culture will be safe and secured. How we are doing that? It's simple. And the copy, my thesis copy that I have submitted to Navi sir, for consideration. You will see this example there. You will see much more detail there. It's not possible to cover it within this time, but these are just 2 examples I'm giving you. Rather than telling people to stop tailgating or close the door behind, which is a real problem we face, tailgating, and that's a huge risk to our data. We don't tell people do not tailgate anyone. We just tell them that, did you shut your front door this morning? Rather than telling people to use a strong password or follow our password policy strictly. Anyway, they have to follow the password policy because it's all built in system. But sometimes people come and ask us why we should follow this policy. That's pathetic. We don't tell them to follow the policy. We just tell them, let's ruin criminals' day by using a strong password. This is how we implement stop, think, protect, and help people to create human firewall. And I think this is what we need. So if you see on this slide, we just not only say that an open gate is a problem for Office, because we have found that 5 out of 10 sites have an open gate. But at the middle, if you see the GIF, that will show that we also say it's harmful for your children. Because we know in a working from home or in a hybrid environment, people need to be similarly careful like that at office. We have lots of control in our office. It's quite safe and secure, but not while working at home. Excuse me. And if we want them to be careful, we need to link it. We need to make it personal. We also promote education awareness for our colleagues, friends or family member. I personally take session of their children, of their family member. We also go with the external campaign and promote them. For example, there's a live campaign till now. If you go to gatesafeonline.org and Kids to be True, you will get lots of material that will help to build this culture, build this safe and secure culture within our kids, so that they would be future ready. Because the threats we are looking at is quite low. Down the line 10 years, it is going to be massively high. And I am really worried about the culture, about the policy, all these digital companies or big companies, for example, mobile manufacturers are creating. They're bringing in and day out new technologies. They're handing over new handset, but I haven't seen any company who is working a single bit on the awareness bit. And this is where I think we need to take a stand. We need to ensure that we are spreading awareness. We come across quite a lot in our day-to-day life. Even one incident in this forum, if I haven't had any data incident or any security incident throughout the month, maybe one of you have got that. And maybe it's something we can learn from there. And that is something we are looking at to create a knowledge bank. And the knowledge is available everywhere. If you go through, so this morning I have seen that something shared by a cyber center inspector, that how the fraudsters are hacking WhatsApp by implementing a call forwarding. And this is something need to be spread out. We need people to reach out to each and every one to strengthen and build the human firewall of India. From BT, we give some training, external training. So this is a 10 minutes training in case any one of you, want to take your friends or family member through a quick 10 minutes of training to keep themselves safe online. You can just go to vt.com/os-training. This is a quick training that will help how to keep your data safe by staying protected from phishing, vishing, and smishing, all three issues. And this is exactly a shorter version of training which we give our employees. So in my paper which I have submitted to Navi sir, you will be able to see that there is a section where we are working to change this desktop based training to a virtual reality training where experience will be more hands on. I can definitely bring one of my colleague some of the future session to give you a quick 10 minutes demo that how we are creating this human firewall training through virtual reality, and you're gonna love it to see that. We recommend everyone within organization, outside organization to this KeePass to store passwords securely. I have tens of 10-20 passwords. I can't keep them in my brain. And you all know passwords should be different than one another. So I install KeePass in my mobile, on my laptop, and I store over there. So if you are someone like me who struggle to memorize your password, you can use this software called KeePass. It's freely available online. You can download on your mobile, download on your laptop, and you can just start saving your password. And please share it with anyone and everyone you love, you care, your friends, family member, anyone. Now, these are a couple of tricks and tips which can help people to identify a potential data breach or incident reporting. Now, the big question was, and this is something my UK security team already used to ask me, that if something suspicious happening in India, where we should report. I think I have the answer now. So I've come across this post on LinkedIn where this individual reported a suspicious activity to certain and got a response from them. And this person does not belong to an organization. This post is evident that certain is accepting reports, even if you are facing in your day-to-day life on a personal front. And that is why I brought in all these details from the certain website. And I have seen that they have taken up this investigation. So we can also share with everyone if anyone need any support, anyone is doubting about any potential breach, security incident, cyber attack, or stuff, just go ahead and report. And we need to build this report culture. In a country like India, where we are getting 80 cyber attacks per second, and if certain wants to get a report of all of them, I think they are pretty much okay with that. I don't have a problem to comply to that. I'm not going to ask how they are going to accommodate, because we know what India is capable enough. If we decide to step on something, we would definitely do that. And I think the certain is already onto it. This is my ask from the forum. I would need your help to put a mission of hashtag Human Firewall of India, I in capital. At least share one awareness post per week, per head, and we can make a big difference to stop at least 1% of the harassment of the crime that is happening at the cyberspace, to get hold of people's personal or sensitive or non-personal or non-sensitive personal data and use it around. If we contribute towards building this human firewall across India, I think our future generation will get a quite healthy online culture where they can really enjoy the technology without worrying of any upcoming threats, if we just put a culture in forward. And this does not take much time. This is part of our day-to-day job. We get into risk, we hear about risk, we hear about incident, we come across incident. We just need to realize, and we all are professional, we understand which data would be public, internal, confidential, and highly confidential, and how to convert a confidential or highly confidential data into public data. So we can convert the data into public and can share with everyone there. I'm still looking for an opportunity to put this idea. I have already put my point forward to one of my contacts in Certain. It's a very young chap, the assistant director of Certain. I have requested him that I would like this hashtag Human Firewall of India as a theme of upcoming Cyber Awareness Month, which they are going to celebrate. I'm not sure how they are going to respond, but my request to this forum, we can really create a difference on this data standpoint, especially where we are looking at 75 years of celebrating our independence and definitely an empowered and superpowered digital India. That's pretty much from my side. I would stop now for any questions, suggestions, feedback, or anything we want to talk. I'll just stop sharing my screen and bring it here.
Yeah, very nice session, Mr. Anirban, Dr. Anirban. I have a very small question for you. When
Yes.
a head of country starts campaign, daughter with selfie, what are your take on that?
Sorry, sir, I missed that.
Okay, when you have talked nicely about security, safety, everything, but when a head of country asks its people to start a campaign, daughter selfie with daughter, and publish it on all the available platforms, what are your take on such type of statements made by a head of state? Are you aware?
Sir, if you ask me
PM Modi,
personally, as I already, I think this is a prime member of FDPPI, a very helpful lady, Manju. She was chasing me for my picture. I felt really bad. It's not that I don't have my picture, which is front facing white background, but I didn't tell the reason because I was willing to, explain the reason.
no,
Or
you understood the question
I,
wrongly.
I
My direct question is, when PM Modi asked for daughter with selfie campaign, was it a good idea to promote yourself with your daughter, not you personally, to anyone, to make these sort of private images public on all social media platforms?
no, sir. I don't like this idea personally, to be honest with you. I would not do that.
Thank you.
Then PM has to be taught.
Correct.
If it is, it is. We can't help. I'm really sorry to say, but yes, if it is, it is. We all are learning on our day-to-day life, so it is not possible for one individual to know everything. So yes, that is quite correct. In a country like India, where we're still struggling to put in the social media regulatory for the social media websites, where we are still struggling to get an approval on personal data protection bill, which is pending. I think a very good recommendation is pending for last 6 months. If those things are in place, then definitely I would be happy to do that. But I am not happy to share my selfie with my daughter right now. The picture which I shared with this forum, that is 3.5 years old.
Mr. Dr. Anirban, I have a question. I would like
Yes.
to know, across BT entities, what technological control you have to prevent such taking selfie or inside the premises taking a video. What type of technological controls you have put?
Okay, so first of all, sir, we had quite strict control before COVID. There was no device were allowed inside the floor. Then COVID came and it taught us a new era. Currently, we all know that we are on a hybrid working mode. And even I think this morning I saw a post from LinkedIn India that 50% work from home allowed for all the SCZ entities. So work from home will be there. Now, the question that we faced when we spoke about restrictions and stuff, that how we are going to control or we are going to monitor if people are working from home. And trust me, we had no answer. So what we believe right now into spread awareness and make things personal and tell people that what a picture can do if they put on the social media, what an picture of ID card can do if they put on social media. Not only ID card, even if a lanyard is visible. I am working from office, you will not be able to see my lanyard. It's there beside my desk, present there. So I'm not going to reveal that. And this is exactly what we demonstrate. We spend a lot of time. I personally spend a lot of time in spreading awareness. And you won't believe, in last financial year, altogether our team, we have covered more than 950 awareness sessions across the globe. And we didn't spoke about any kind of policy or stick to the policy. We just show them some example, like I show you a video, some sort of video, that what happens when you share something online or when you take a picture and share it, how it impact you personally. And that worked. And on top of that, we have a social media team. We have a social media monitoring team who work regularly. If anyone coming across anything, if I come across a post where a person is leaving BT and put an iCard picture on LinkedIn, I report that to the security team and they ensure it's been taken down. So there is a social media team who regularly monitor what's being tagged, what's being done across the media, and any employees who is coming across anything such, we encourage them to report. And we ensure that who is doing that will get proper education and awareness. We don't penalize people if it's the first attempt or stuff, because we believe that we professionals need to be seen as a guide dog, not a guard dog.
Yeah,
if we
it's
a guide dog, then people will come to us.
Yeah, it's a good that these all the initiatives, it will prevent to certain extent what we call these are as managerial controls or logical controls. But
Yes.
BT is such an advanced technology company. What kind of technical controls you have? That was I'm eager to know that. If somebody, in spite of all this education, if somebody I'm trying to take a selfie or do that thing, how technology will prevent me?
No, so we cannot stop people from taking selfie or video, within the premises or within the floor. There is nothing which we can do, but definitely if you are talking about if someone is bringing a laptop or trying to connect with our internal network, I can assure you that is not possible. We are that strong enough that if you bring a hacker's laptop from outside and put it onto our Wi-Fi or put it onto our LAN, it will be detected within seconds. That's for sure. But if someone is taking a selfie or a video, unfortunately, there is no way to detect that. We believe, on our awareness, and definitely we ask people to monitor the line managers, the operations manager, the floor managers, which they are.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Any question from anyone?
Yeah, no, Ramesh, I think this is Ramesh here again. Dr. Anirban, I think that's a good session what you have taken. One of the other thing which I think personally when trying to look at is how do we help the employees to challenge if there is a stranger or outsider that is trying to do something else, how do we stop them? And I see that most of the employees does not do that. I mean, they think it is responsibility of the guard or someone else, but they don't stand up and say, hey, look, you know what, I don't see your visitor badge, or I don't see you. Why are you taking the picture? Why are you roaming around? These are some of the things I think still need to be done. Like as you mentioned about the human firewall, perhaps even this has to go to the employees that they need to stand up and say, look, they need to be vigilant as well. It's not only CISO or a security guard, they themselves need to behave like that. And I think that's FDPPI prefers to promote that kind of a thing. Everyone needs to be a kind of a vigilant than leaving it to someone independently somewhere down the line.
Yeah, Ramesh, Anirban, just I wanted to mention, Mr. Ramesh, that our DPCSI framework, has something called distributed responsibility. That is, we consider every employee of the organization a DPO or a CISO within his data environment. That concept has been embedded as a control in the DPCSI framework. In fact, we have in some other context called that as "Mai bhi chaukidar hoon" kind of a thing, and I think, that is what we are going to look at as a theme to promote this for two reasons. Not only that the DPO or the CISO cannot himself handle the responsibilities across a large organization. We also have this problem of this unstructured data, recognizing a PII amongst the unstructured data, which lands up in the hands of an employee directly, bypassing the other technical controls and other things. So in such cases, it is only the employee who can bring it to the knowledge of another data custodian. Like if he is taking a selfie, he should know that what he can do and what he cannot do. Unless we imbibe that kind of a security culture, privacy culture, and what you said, that why can't employees ask a visitor who is not having a badge or something. I think these are the things which need to be done as part of our data protection compliance requirement. Hope we will be able to focus on this more. Normally what happens is we don't focus much on these things. We focus on various other things, but employees taking on the responsibility. In fact, that is why we have said your HR policy also needs to be changed. I don't want an employee going to a labor union or something like that and say, I was not recruited as a CISO or a DPO. Now somebody is asking me to be a DPO. This is not my job responsibility. Okay, so even the HR policy will have to be modified to say that every person, whether he's a software developer or anybody else, he has the responsibility to secure the assets of the company. So those are the things which we are bringing into our framework. And I think what Anirban is saying goes directly into that kind of thought process.
So I agree with you, sir. What I found in my so I was previously in a risk and compliance role where I used to lead the data and security bit. So I have worked with security, I've worked with data for last 2.5 years as well before moving here. And what I have seen in my career is people are scared to talk to a risk and compliance professional or to a security professional or to a data protection officer or to a data compliance officer or someone such. And this is something we need to change. People don't report because they are scared. They will think that now I need to go through an investigation. The HR policy that you said, Navi, is absolutely correct. If I send an email to Anirban, Ganguly than Anirban Ghosh, it's a potential data breach, and we want employees to self-report that if they identify that, and we give them a free hand. As a DPO, I give them a free hand that if anyone penalize you for self-reporting the breach before anyone identify that, come to me. I ensure that no one is going to ask you a single question, because this is the culture we want to put in. We want people to highlight their mistakes if they have done anything. If they have done anything wrong, then they just go ahead and highlight that. We really don't want them, to hide somewhere or hide some incident. And these are certain things, you are right, sir. We need to bring in organization culture. We need to bring in the policy to ensure that people report it more and take it more personal, take it more, as an ownership to the organization. Because by the end of the day, we also give an example that if something goes wrong in any of the India sites, site might be closed and we all might lose our job. That might be the worst case scenario. So we give this kind of example, and it's working, sir. I would say it's working pretty much well. We are looking good in Indian behavior. We are able to change quite a lot, and the personal touch is working.
One of the related controls we suggest is the whistleblower policy, because that is also a very important aspect. And when we say whistleblower, see, the incident management system can pick up some information from a whistleblower. And now if you want to have a whistleblower policy, you need to provide protection to the whistleblower. So the HR policy has to take care of who can give such reports to whom and how his identity will be protected, because within the organization, if I am making a complaint about somebody, that should not reflect on me. So if you have a whistleblower policy, you need to have a whistleblower protection policy. And then perhaps the destination of complaints will have to go to an ombudsman, not an internal HR person. So these are all the things which need to be tied together if we are trying to create this human firewall. In fact, in our system, we are calling our policy as an augmented HR policy. I don't know whether people have realized why I am calling it as an augmented HR policy, because even it's whistleblower policy, I am saying even the external persons like vendors and others, I would like to encourage them to report if they have seen something wrong with our organization. So just as our employees have to report about other employees who are slightly having a deviant tendencies, we should encourage even our vendors and maybe even public. Our bug bounty program for software developers, I actually look at it as a whistleblower policy, where a member of the public understands that there is a vulnerability in the particular software and he reports it. That's why I say that bug bounty program in most of the organizations where application development is part of their activity, it should be a must. Same way, whistleblower policy is a requirement. And to support the whistleblower policy, we need to have this incentivization, disincentivization, creation of a whistleblower protection policy. And these are all things which we have embedded in our DPCSI, but only when you ask me the details of a particular policy, perhaps we will be discussing this. Otherwise, it will be there as a title headline somewhere. Some people may understand the significance or some people may not understand the significance. But definitely people are not only the source of problem, they are also the solution to the security problem. Yeah, Ramesh wanted to say something, I think.
And I think what you said makes sense. They are also the solution of the problem.
Yeah.
Solution for the problem.
Correct.
This is exactly, I think, DPCSI, right? We are trying to. Yes. Any other feedback, any question, anybody? The team?
I like this nomenclature, human firewall. Okay. And also this suggestion which you have given as far as the hashtag is concerned. Okay. Let us see whether we can promote it. I think Advocate Mahendra Lemaya can also do it. I can also do it under navi.org because we are working on cybercrime prevention in various ways. And this is part of a larger outreach program.
Yes, we need to reach out to people. We need to reach out to people and share as much as possible. And that's a simple way to build human firewall. We don't need to invest a single penny to build this. It is just to share.
And also, I like those 2-3, posters you showed where we say things differently, like say instead of saying
use strong password,
use a strong password or something like that.
Ruin the hacker.
Convert it into a sort of a fight against the criminal kind of a thing. I think that's a good thought, which can be used by corporates when they prepare these kind of.
Yes, make it personal rather than we use quite.
And also motivation wise. See, motivation wise, you are making a lot of change. You are making that person a fighter. Okay.
Challenging.
It impacts, sir. When you talk about your family,
it is a question of motivation.
And when I talk about office, yes,
that's a very good idea. Yeah. Any other comments, Anil? Or,
Dr. Ghosh, thank you. Srinivasan here. Thank you so much for the session. Wonderful session. So I will take the message and try to.
Yeah. Can we say we should have Agniveers?
Yeah. Okay.
I've got one suggestion, Dr. Ghosh. Thank you very much for the lovely presentation. It's an eye opener, but what plans, if you're trying to championing something, which is great, somebody is doing something positively about it, while your presentation was going on, I don't live very far from here, from a school, which is a small infants, primary and junior. And I was just thinking, that within your presentation, do you think you can take this message to smaller like junior to high schools. Reason being is if you are stating that is try to teach our family members, our colleagues, our children from now to put in practice, because most of the time, I mean, I recently visited India in very, very hot weather, but survived. Majority of the youngsters I saw had a better phone than I was carrying one, you know, and I'm just thinking, what is it? It intrigued me. What is it that they're chatting? What is it that they are sharing? What is it where they are browsing? You know, so it was a bit of a concerning, I mean, that's coming from data protection issue. But what are your thoughts on sharing this journey of yours with other colleagues and also various champions around to take it to the schools, to the junior schools, and share this story?
We should do that. I totally agree with your proposal. The content need to be changed. For example, I've been asked by an NGO based in Kolkata to prepare a session for school-going girls, class 9 to 12, who are quite new during this COVID with mobile, with the exposure. And what I focused on is how they can remove their personal data from Google search. For example, I suggested them to go to Google on every week and search with their full name and location. And if any picture or any details coming from any other source, you know, they just go ahead and restrict them and ask Google to remove it. So these are the small certain things which we need to prepare the content for the junior group of people. But yes, I think these companies who are handing over mobile to users, it should be a mandatory by government to put some CSR activity to spread awareness amongst all the kids, all the people. And I think we can take a stand. We can definitely do that. Happy to do that. I have some content, children content ready, which I prepared for some school-going girl children. I can share it with you if you want.
Okay. I mean, the only reason is because here there is in UK, within the UK, various police forces. I know that there is like an ongoing awareness program every summertime, when now there is a summer break soon going to happen from this week. So there are summer camps where people can go, take their mobile, have a selfie, like you said, you know, in an open park. But when they go into the area where within the confines of the police pods, they have created a small pods, you know, which to say, what is your selfie? How we have found your selfie here, you know, and this is where they start raising awareness of it. And also what are the dangers, stranger danger messages are being shared. So similarly, you know, I mean, it's like a global issue rather than just in India only.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
So I was quite intrigued that you have already started doing that great work. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Yeah, Manju. So I think we should thank Dr. Anirban Ghosh for his excellent presentation. And he didn't end up with only a presentation, but he has given certain action points, which some of us can try to implement. And I thank him for giving such thoughts. And we hope to see him again in more of our activities. And definitely, we would like to see him as an DPPI member. Okay.
Sure, sir. We'll be with you.
Yeah. Okay. Then,
in a few weeks.
Apart from that, participate in sharing your thoughts. Actually, we are trying to create a module on behavioral requirement, behavioral science for data protection officers, basically to develop his attitude and other requirements of behavioral skills. And some of the things which you have discussed today also leads to that. And I thank you for that. Okay.